My name's Kevin Reay. I'm 51. Consider myself a working class person, come from a working class background. I was brought up by my mother, by herself, me and my four brothers, so she brought five of us up.
Was there much money at home?
Oh, there wasn't any money. There wasn't anything like that. There was the things we needed. There's plenty of love and that, but there was no money. Definitely no money.
Tell me about the schools that you went to. What schools did you go to?
I went to the two local infant and junior school here, and then when I was 11 I sat the 11 plus and went to a grammar school called Tanfield Grammar School. I didn't like school. It was there was too many social problems involved with the school to really concentrate on learning anything. Though I did come up with a love of certain things like books. I love reading and that, which has persisted right until the present day. Yeah.
How do you think teachers saw you?
I think teachers saw me as a little bit troublesome, or troubled maybe. I think I was a nuisance, really, to be honest. That's the honest truth.
What expectations did the school have for you?
The school had no expectations for me whatsoever. They told me as much frequently, but they didn't have it for any of the kids, though. It was unusual if they had any expectations for you, even though it was a good school. Nobody went to university or anything like that, nothing like.
What did they tell you was going to happen to you?
I was going to work in a factory, cutting up bars of soap, according to one of these. That was the kind of thing you were going to be. It was early 80s, it was like mass unemployment here, so you were going to be on the dole, or doing a youth training scheme, some kind of thing like that. That was your options. Yeah.
On leaving school, what did you do?
When I left school, first job I had, I was working on a thing called YOP, Youth Opportunity Programme. You got paid £23.50 a week. Well, I got £19.50 actually, because I was only 15 and my mother was still getting £4 family allowance, so they took that off its source. And I was fixing up, the company were called Interchurch, and we would like go around like in this van and fix up church buildings and like get them ready for use for like, church halls. They were put back in the community. I've noticed one of the ones we fixed up though as a community centre is now a private house, so I don't know where the connection came from that like.
Did you then find permanent work, or were you on benefits at any time?
I was on until I moved away when I was about 17. Just after my 17th birthday, I moved away down the country to sort of get into work, and that there was nothing here, So I moved away and stayed away for a long time.
What access to money did you have?
To get money, I was either signing on or getting temporary jobs where I could, like a mixture of both things. I did everything from like fruit picking, worked in factories, I worked in a shoe factory, I worked in bars, I worked in restaurants, washed dishes. I did every kind of baker, I was working at butchers, I worked in plucking chickens and then gutting them and then cutting them up for a company called Gott's Chicken Factory over in Lancaster actually, years ago. I did that. I worked at a holiday camp, Pontons, and also in Lancaster, well, Heysham, near the nuclear power station. I was a train driver for a couple of years as well. That was like a proper job I had, and then since then I've done all kinds of jobs. And then when I was a train driver, I decided that I was going to go into try and get into education. That was the thing I wanted to do. So I started doing various courses.
What triggered you to go into education?
I wanted to go to university. I had a naive idea of what university was going to be like. It was going to be like Brideshead Revisited or something, and it was nothing like that, of course. I had no qualifications at all, so I went and I did a couple of O levels just to get myself like into college again, and then I did an access to higher education course, and then I wrote an essay to get me sent around to various colleges because I was going like down an unconventional route. And then I got an interview at Sussex University. I was living in Eastbourne at the time, and I went over and I spoke to a very nice chap called Dr. David Morse about jazz records mostly, and then they gave me an offer out of the blue. It was amazing.
What were your expectations of university?
I had an idea it was going to be like Oxbridge. People completely. I didn't have any idea what it was going to be like, really. I mean, obviously I'd met people who were like me who'd went to university, but I just thought, how did they get there? They must have been getting a leg up or something, it never occurred to me that I could go there, I was 28, so I expected it to be this like posh place full of people who were quite intimidating and that. And it was for a little bit, but I sort of got used to it, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was probably the defining experience of my life, was going to the university. Brilliant.
Tell me, what was the impact on your life then?
It was enormous. The impact was enormous. It made me realise that I was not as good, or I never thought I was any worse than anybody else. But I could keep up like intellectually with people. It gave me a little bit more. I felt a little bit more fulfilled. I felt more confident, and I did learn a lot of things. And I learned how to put things into context. Like the stuff I was reading, I was taking a scattergun approach. I read everything, and then I started realising, okay, if you read this, and then that leads to this, and it just gave a more like a holistic approach. It was a brilliant university, and I really enjoyed it. It was, I met a lot of good friends. I met the mother of my child. Everything from that moment was different. It felt different. I didn't feel any different as a person, but it was an improvement in lots of ways, and marvellous.